welcome to YarnGasm. I'm Kristen and this is episode 254. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back, and if you are a new viewer, welcome to the podcast. This is a podcast about knitting, spinning, hand-dyeing yarn, sewing, and making all the things in Brooklyn, New York, where I'm from and I live, and as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about those things with me. And yes, I am back after another week off. Last week was Thanksgiving here in the United States, so if you celebrate, I hope everyone had a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you had lots of food, or surrounded by friends and family, and just had a really nice, relaxing weekend. Yeah, Dennis and we went to visit his brother down in Pennsylvania, and his brother lives there with his wife and their two kids, our niece and nephew. So it was really great to see them. I feel like it's been forever. We don't really get to see them that often, so what better excuse than Thanksgiving? And then we spent the night in Philly and just kind of bummed around the area. It's kind of becoming our annual tradition of going to his brother's place and then hopping around Philly the next day, because it is, I have to say, like, it is a really fun city. So I was talking to Dennis about this. I'm like, there's something about Philly that I just really like. Obviously the food's really good. There's always something to do. There are lots of fun museums and galleries, and yeah, there's always something going on when we visit this time of year. So it's a very chill city, and it's not as fast paced as New York. It's almost a little bit more quiet. I just love the vibe of Philly. So yeah, like I said, it's kind of like our annual tradition that we, you know, go down to Pennsylvania and spend the night in Philly and do stuff the next day. So we went to Sabrina's, which is apparently like a really well-known diner out in Philly, and Dennis got the stuffed French toast, which was, I have to be honest, it was the size of his head. I mean, the thing was ginormous, and if you've had stuffed French toast before, you probably know what I'm talking about. But they stuffed it with cream cheese that was I don't know, flavored with cinnamon and nutmeg. It had all these different flavors going on, and I have to say I wasn't a fan of it. I just sat back and watched Dennis do his thing on it. And yeah, something about like the sweet and sour taste wasn't jiving with me. But anyway, I'm not a huge breakfast French toast person, but I just enjoy watching other people enjoy these things because they're incredible. And I just had some eggs and coffee. In other news, tomorrow is December 1st, so that means, drum roll, Vlogmas! Vlogmas begins tomorrow, and after much humming and hawing and thinking over it, I had a lot of fun doing Vlogmas last year, and I had a lot of fun doing Vlogtober this year. However, I've decided that while I am going to be doing Vlogmas, I'm not going to be vlogging every single day of the month. It's a little too much for me to tackle on a daily basis, but I will be doing I will be doing videos here and there throughout the month. I'm going to aim for 3 videos a week, so they won't, and I've also decided that they won't be just my day-to-day happenings, if you will. I'm going to try and do a couple of like themed videos, be it like tutorials or an FAQ, or, you know, with, of course, like some fun events sprinkled in there. So I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that kind of format, or, you know, I'll have a lot of fun testing out that type of format. So I hope you guys are excited for that as I am. And I'm super excited for everyone else's Vlogmas videos. I know a lot of people are going to be doing them next month. I know Nina from the Visible Knit podcast is going to be doing it, and Laura, my friend Laura, Jinx Yarns, is going to be doing it, and Jacqueline from Brooklyn Knit Folk is going to be doing it. So I will try and post a list in the show notes of some Vlogmas podcasters that I'm going to be checking out this month, so you guys can have fun with that. So before I get into what I've been making this week, I have a very awesome giveaway to announce, because you guys, YarnGasm hit 15K subscribers a couple weeks ago, and I'm totally blown away, and I want to celebrate that with you because I think it's a pretty awesome milestone to reach. Granted, I've been podcasting for, I don't know, I always forget. It's like 6 or 7 years that I've been doing this. So 15K subscribers. Whether you've been with me since the very beginning when I was audio, or just joining me now, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for sticking with me, subscribing, and, you know, just being part of this awesome community that has grown around YarnGasm. As a way to say thank you, I want to do a very special giveaway, and I put together a little little something something, but I'm going to do it on YouTube because it is 15K subscribers on YouTube. So I'm just gonna host the giveaway here on the YouTube channel if that is where you're watching. So yeah, let me share with you the giveaway prize. And just a quick little disclosure, a while back I announced that I have stopped accepting either, you know, gifts or giveaway prizes. I know a lot of people contact me, and I am truly grateful and thankful and appreciative anytime anybody like reaches out to me and wants to send me something as a giveaway prize, or, you know, just a little, you know, thank you for doing the podcast. It really means so much, but recently it has just gotten a little overwhelming, and I've just been getting quite a few of those. So I decided, I made an executive decision to not accept those anymore. Just a personal policy, if that makes any sense. But I did go ahead and open up a marketplace thread in the YarnGasm Ravelry group, where makers and people with other podcasts and, you know, can post, feel free to post in there, you know, links to your Etsy shops or online shops or your podcasts, or, you know, wherever you want to get the word out about your makes. And yeah, so, but on the rare occasion, I do accept giveaways, especially when it comes to products that I completely can get behind, stuff that I enjoy using and want to share with you. So full disclosure, Claire from the Woolly Thistle got in touch with me and generously donated a giveaway prize to the podcast for the 15K subscriber giveaway. So Claire, thank you so much. And I made this exception because it is something that I talk about on the podcast all the time. It's a product that I use all the time and could not have more amazing things to say about it. So Claire, I just want to say thank you so much again. And yeah, I could not resist. So the Woolly Thistle has so generously donated a Hiya Sharps interchangeable set of needles to one of you lovely viewers, and it includes sizes US to a US size 8. So that's 2.75 millimeters to 5 millimeter tips. And you guys, I have the same exact set, granted a red case, but I could not speak more highly of these needles. They're my favorites, they're my go-tos. I use them for practically everything. So I am very excited to be giving away one of these kits to one of you lovely viewers. And yeah, and it also comes with a needle gauge, which is super adorable. It reminds me of Shaun the Sheep. I don't know if you guys watch that show, but yeah, so very handy. And Claire also included a enamel pin, which are all the rage right now. Enamel pin, I feel like everyone and their uncle is collecting enamel pins for their project bags. So that is going to be included in this project bag that I whipped up. So if you know, I don't make I used to sew project bags for the shop, but I don't do it anymore, only because I find them incredibly time consuming and I really want to focus just dyeing yarn for the shop. But I do still make project bags for friends and for the occasional giveaway. So this is a cotton and steel fabric with really adorable Fair Isle illustrated Fair Isle sweaters. Here's the other side, and there's a canvas bottom to it, and it's fully lined with this kind of sprinkled snow interior. So I, you know, just as a huge thank you to everybody who watches the podcast and participates in, you know, the chatter thread on Ravelry. You know, thank you so much. And again to Claire for the super wonderful, generous donation giveaway prize. Yeah, so, and obviously check out the Woolly Thistle because he offers a lot of yarns that aren't readily available here in the US, or you have to pay a lot of shipping if you order from the UK and Europe and whatnot. But she has yarns like Jameson Smith, she has John Arbin, she has Blacker yarns, a lot of those UK brands that you can't easily get here in the United States, and you don't have to pay a lot for shipping at all. So it's pretty awesome. Go check it out. But yay. Okay, so the prompt for the giveaway is leave a comment below in YouTube in the comments section What is one thing that you treat yourself to every day or at least once a week? Just because I use that phrase a lot, treat yourself. So I figured that would be very appropriate for the giveaway. So yeah, what is one thing that you do for yourself or treat yourself to every day or once a week, be it you make time to knit for an hour every day, you get yourself a cup of coffee every day or hot chocolate, or you know, you binge watch one of your favorite TV shows, or, you know, something that you do for yourself every day, just because it's for you and it makes you happy. So leave your comments leave your replies in the comments below, and next week I will choose a winner at random. I have to figure it out. I know that there's a way to do it. To choose a random winner via YouTube, so it will be totally fair. So yes, I'm looking forward to reading your replies. And what else? Yeah, okay, so that is the intro. I'm gonna get into what I've been making this week, but first, a quick break with my tea, because I feel like I've been chattering this for quite a while. And yeah, I'm drinking from my new Christmas Village in Philadelphia mug. As I mentioned, Dennis and I spent the next day after Thanksgiving, that Friday, in Philly, bumming around, you know, and they happened to have the Christmas Village going on, which we didn't check out last year. So, of course, Dennis had to get on a business call, leaving me to my own devices. So what do? I make a beeline to the Voolenvine line, if that makes any sense. So you can get like some mulled cider or hard cider, or I don't know, whatever. But I got myself a cup of Voolenvine, and of course it only made sense to get a souvenir cup. So granted, it's a little smaller than my usual mugs, but it's still adorable, and look, it has a whole Philly scene in there, and I love it. It's so adorable. Anyway, I am drinking Snow Day by David's Tea, and it is delicious. I'm not a huge peppermint tea fan, but this has like a nice sweet, like almost like a green tea peppermint flavor to it. So it's not like overkill peppermint. Yeah, it's like a sugary kind of peppermint, if that makes any sense. But anyway, okay, so finished objects this week. I have 2 finished objects, which is very rare. If you are a regular viewer of the podcast, you probably are aware that I do not crank the projects out like nobody's business. So it takes me a little longer than usual, because I am not by any means a monogamous knitter. I have all the things cast on at all times, and it's a little crazy sometimes. But the first finished object that I want to share with you is something that I did not have cast on the last time I recorded. This is a cast on that I started on Thanksgiving and I finished yesterday. And it is a hat for Dennis. And yeah, I don't think that I didn't even share the yarn with you, because the next day, I am super bright. I had to take down the exposure just a little bit because I was totally blown out. But yeah, the next day after the last time I recorded the podcast, the next day I met up with Ellie and we went to Brooklyn General, we went to Pearl Soho, and we just had a really, really fun time together. It was the day before she had taken off to go back home. But while we were at Brooklyn General, I could not help getting a couple skeins of Woolfolk, and I bought 2 skeins of their, oh goodness, what is it? So I got 2 skeins just to be safe, because the last couple of hats that I knit for Dennis were a little, like, I used an entire skein, or I usually use an entire skein of something, but they're never enough to they're never enough. He likes beanies, but the ones that I knit for him are never quite long enough. So I got 2 skeins of Woolfolk, let me see, in their tinned base. I believe it's tinned, and you get 219 yards, which is pretty generous for fingering weight, 50 gram fingering weight, but it is 219 yards, 200 meters, 50 grams, and it's 100% Ovis 21 Ultimate Merino wool. And you guys, it is just so incredibly soft. It is like buttered kittens to the max. I have a whole skein left over, but yeah, I finished the hat. This is the pattern that I used. It's just a simple beanie. He hasn't tried it on yet, but the pattern that I used is the sock head hat, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. There's so many people, I feel like if you're a knitter, you've at least knit one. And for some reason, I never knit a sock head hat before. So this was my first sock head hat that I knit. Granted, it's not knit out of sock yarn, but I figured I just needed a simple beanie pattern because that is what he requested. And you guys, this was such a fun, quick knit to whip up. It was so mindless. I knit on this on Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's something I didn't talk about. Like on Thanksgiving, I brought my knitting, and something that I didn't do in previous years just because I felt kind of almost rude. Like if I were, you know, it's a family gathering, you know, sitting down, and I felt like if I just had my knitting out, it'd be kind of rude because no one else is knitting. But you know what? I'm kind of over that. I'm so glad I brought out my knitting. I took out my knitting this time because it just, you know, I wasn't just sitting there fidgeting with my hands because yeah, I'm an introvert, and you know, I start to fidget if I don't have something in my hands, and I'm so glad that I brought my knitting this time. Not that I'm uncomfortable around my own family, but no, it's I just like having something to do with my hands. So yeah, this was really nice to have to work on Thanksgiving, and yeah, I just kind of knit on it intermittently and finally finished it yesterday. I blocked it and everything, and it is so soft. The one thing that I heard about wool folk is that it pills like crazy, so I might have to get a gleaner, but honestly it is so soft, it's totally worth it, you know. So I told Dennis he's got to be really careful with this. I'm gonna try and get a couple of shots of him wearing this, just some nice photos, so we'll you know, we'll see if I can twist his arm to do that at some point this weekend maybe. But anyway, yay. And I used a 2.5, what is it, US 2.5. I'm not sure what that is in millimeters. I'm totally blanking. I think it's a 2.75 millimeter needle, but US 2.5 for the entire thing because Silly Me did not pack a smaller needle to cast on. I don't know. Normally, the pattern says that you're supposed to cast on using a smaller needle, but Silly Me did not pack anything smaller. So, yeah. But honestly, I think it'll fit him perfectly. So anyway, yay, one finished object. Highly recommend the pattern. Yeah, what else? But yeah, I have a whole nother skein to play around with. I have no idea what I'm gonna make. Maybe a pair of fingerless mitts for myself. I don't know. The next finished object is, I'm wearing it, you guys. I finished my Tamiaka Lopa. It is done, it is done, it is done, it is done, and I am so happy with it, you guys. This is a wonderful pattern by the lovely and amazing Pinay Gori on Ravelry, Ann Meyer, and you guys, it is wonderful. And yeah, it took me forever to finish. I don't know why. It was definitely one of those things where I enjoyed working on it. I think just the pressure of wanting to finish it for Rhinebeck, that just kind of wore me down a little bit, and and it just kind of had to go on time out for a little bit. But after I finished the first sleeve, the second sleeve just zoomed. It flew off the needles. I think I finished it in less than 3 days. All the hours that I worked on it combined. And I have to say that my gauge on the second sleeve is a little bit tighter than my gauge on the second sleeve because obviously I worked on them at different times and I worked on the second sleeve more consistently. But overall, after I blocked it, it fits like a glove. There's very little ease in here, little to no ease at all, but it's not tight. It fits me comfortably, and it's super warm. And yeah, I knit the sleeves because I really do love having extra long sleeves because I'm one of those people that likes to pull the sleeves over my knuckles and do this type of thing. So yay, that's the beauty of knitting your own sweaters. You can totally customize it. Wonderful. But yeah, and I steeked it. I posted a video of me steeking the cardigan on Instagram, and I have to say, you guys, if you have not steeked a cardigan, what are you doing with your lives? It is so easy. Like, honestly, I will be totally honest. I was not scared to steek this at all. I think where the freak out happens is because you hear so many people freak out over the thought of steeking something. And I think it's a collective, like when you hear like, oh, I'm supposed to be scared of steeking. No, I think it's so silly to be scared of something that is so easy. I don't know how to express the easiness of steeking. I will say, because this yarn is super sticky, it's 100% Shetland Jameson Spindrift, so it's a very sticky wool, very rustic. So when you steek it and you cut it, the stitches do not go anywhere. They cling to each other, if that makes any sense. So I did not have to reinforce it. I'm already like buttoning. I should talk about the steeking. That was getting a little toasty anyway, but so let me show you what it looks like up close. So I also got a lot of comments about how I went about steeking it. A lot of people noticed that I knit the button bands first before I cut up the middle, or the steek zone in the center. And yeah, the pattern actually instructs you to do that. And yeah, honestly, I think it's genius. It's genius this way. It's already kind of stable, and you know, once you steek it, you're pretty much done with the entire cardigan. So after you steek it, you have like these little flaps left over, and what you do is if you're using a sticky yarn like this, you just trim all your loose ends. You don't have to worry about weaving in all those color work ends, and you just fold the cut edge over the stitches and you whip stitch the edge down, and it creates this really nice, I don't know, like ridge right here. And it's just so well, I don't know, just the pattern was just genius. She gives really clear instructions. They're very simple on how to steek and secure your edges, and I could totally see myself knitting another one of these things. And now, you guys, I want to steek all the things. I totally, yeah. Again, what are you doing with your lives if you haven't steeked anything yet? Do it, do it. Just bite the bullet, do it. It's awesome. Yeah, so, and if you are not using, sticky yarn like Jameson Spindrift, and you're using either superwash or a more slippery yarn like silk with some silk content, that's when they recommend that you secure and reinforce your edges before steeking, because it is slippery, and once you cut up the middle, those stitches are at risk of slipping down and you'll end up with a mess. But yeah, as long as you secure those stitches either by hand sewing or machine sewing, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, so it's honestly like a no-brainer. So yeah, what else did I want to say about this? Some people asked if I was going to put a grosgrain ribbon on the button band, and to be honest, I think it's fine. I think it's fine the way it is. I might have to go back and just readjust some of the buttons, but yeah, I will say there are quite a few imperfections in here, namely on the button band. I don't know, it's a little wonky. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. So yeah, it's a little wonky up here, and it kind of dips. It does like a weird dippy thing. I can't describe it. It's not the best button band that I've ever executed in my life. And then of course, while I was knitting this, I don't know what it is with me. This happened a lot while I was knitting this project, but I would be over here, and then I'd notice later that I'd have a dropped stitch all the way somewhere down here, and clearly I'm not gonna rip that out to pick up that stitch, or it's like just too late to crochet up the ladder. So I had to secure about like 10 of those stitches throughout knitting this, which is crazy. So yeah, that weaving in those ends took quite a bit of time, but I actually have a really cool technique. I will be honest, like I looked around the web and I couldn't find anything. I know Very Pink Knits had a technique on how to fix rogue drop stitches. However, I didn't like the way it looked or whatever, so I kind of like improvised a way that I do it. So I will try and come out with a tutorial on how to fix those rogue drop stitches that are where it's too late in the game to rip back or fix with a crochet hook. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'm just so happy with this pattern. And I don't know what else I want to say with it. I've been wearing it pretty much every single day, so it's getting a lot of use. If you are curious, I used, again, Jameson Spindrift, 2-ply fingering, and black, and then I used like the light gray was granite, which I ran out of and ordered more of, so that came, and now I have a lot of granite to work with in my stash. And let me see, this kind of golden green color, like green color right here is bracken. The mauve is cyclamen, and the dark gray is heron, and then this really beautiful teal here is dewdrop, which has to be one of my favorite Jameson Spindrift colorways. It's such a beautiful, like, watery colorway. I don't know. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So yeah, yay, it's done. It's done. And I want to knit like 10 more because it's awesome. So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say about this. Nope. So I did take some photos out in my backyard. So yeah, I posted some of them on the project page and on Ravelry, so have a look, see at those. I'm gonna leave it off because it is getting a little toasty in the dye dungeon. So but yeah, that is done. Whew. So that's it for finished objects this week. I have some works in progress. Hang on. For works in progress, I am currently knitting a pair of socks for Dennis, his annual pair of socks that I knit for him. However, these are taking forever, but this is Jinx Yarns in her Strong Sock Base in the Eternal Sonata colorway, and yes, I love the way these are knitting up. They are so awesome, but yeah, the leg took forever. I turned the heel, and now the foot, I believe the foot is ready to decrease. I want him to try these on because I want to make sure that they fit and I'm not just like decreasing and I'll have to rip them out. So it's just a matter of tackling Dennis and making him try on the socks. I exaggerate. I will have him try these on tonight, so I know that yes, I can begin to decrease, but yay, socks for Dennis. So there's that, nothing major to write home about. But yeah, my Sunset Highway pullover. I've made a little bit of progress on it. I've featured this in several tutorials that I've put out on my YouTube channel. However, I am kind of debating starting over again because I'm still kind of finding my footing when it comes to, or finding my footing in like which method of holding the yarn when knitting two colorways at the same time. So looking back on my previous work, it looks like there's quite a bit of puckering happening towards the top. And I know it might block out, but I don't want to risk it. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna bother me. So I'm thinking about either starting over again or, I don't know, starting a whole new project with the yarn. I love the yarn. I think it's gonna be, I don't know, I think I'm gonna start over because yeah, it's fun. I love the way it's like the colors are playing together. But yeah, the puckering might get to me, and I'm sure you're probably nodding your heads right now if you're watching this, like, start over, Kristen. Although it is a lot of work that I'm gonna have to do over, but thankfully I'm not too far into the pattern. And this is a pattern, the Sunset Highway pullover is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter. And the yarn that I'm using are all single, superwash single merino bases. And this mauve color right here is by Asylum Fibers in the Housecoat colorway. And then I'm using Machete Shop in Aqua Aura. And then I just started using Shuffle Truffle by Woolenvine. And yeah, it's just a really fun project to work on. I love like the different, it keeps your mind entertained, if that makes any sense. But here's Shuffle Truffle by Woolenvine, and then here's Aqua Aura by Machete Shop. She has a lot of fun colorways too. So yeah, so there is that. And then for the body, for the main part of the body, I'm going to use Dirty on Purpose, my hand-dyed yarn, which is, I don't know, this is like, I love Dirty on Purpose because it is such an awesome neutral, even though it's speckled and has different shades of like black and brown in it. Anyway, it's a good neutral, which is why I use it a lot. So anyway, I think that is, oh no, I have another work in progress. So yeah, living in my Fringe Supply fueled bag, and you might notice I have some more. The swag, it does not stop, it doesn't quit. I have some more enamel pins that I recently added. One of them is one from the Woolly Thistle, so Claire gave me one to put on my project bag, and then this one is a new one. I don't know if you can see that. You do you, which, you guys, I use that phrase very often. I love, like, you know, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. It's fine, and we'll all get along. So, and then I also got, if you know me, I love wine. So I got like this, I saw this on Etsy, and It's like a zombie hand holding a glass of rosé, and why not? I love wine. And then I also did put an order in with the Woolly Thistle, which I'll share with you in Stash Enhancement, but yeah, I could not resist getting a Shawl Society pin because Helen Stewart is one of my favorite designers, and well, I haven't knit, I think I've knit like 2 patterns from the Shawl Society. I have a lot to work through, but proud member of the Shawl Society. I had to get the pin. So yeah, and that is all, yeah. Those are my new enamel pin acquisitions. But living in said field bag is my Booster Beanie, which is coming along very, very nicely. And this is Tuku Wool Fingering, yarn that I picked up at Edinburgh Yarn Festival this year, I wanna say. Feels like last year, but it was this year. And it is so, so lovely. It is finished wool, and it just feels like something else. It almost feels like, I wanna say cashmere or alpaca, but light. Not as heavy or drapey as alpaca, but it has that, I don't know, like halo to it. I don't know if you can see that. It just feels so nice. And I'm totally gonna stock up on more Tuku wool when I go to Edinburgh Yarn Festival next year. So yeah, by the way, I'm going to Edinburgh Yarn Festival next year. Super psyched, in case you missed it last week. But anyway, so I probably would have put like another dent in this, but I have to be honest, I misplaced the mauve skein, the horror. I know, right? This colorway right here, it's around. I just have to find where it roamed off to. But I know it's around, I didn't lose it, don't worry. So yeah, that is where I am. And I'm using Lucca needles, US 4 3.5 millimeter. And yeah, so these are not from my interchangeable kit. These are the fixed circulars, and it is a 16-inch loop, so perfect for knitting hats. Yeah, so I have to be totally honest. While I love Lucca needles, I did have an issue with the interchangeable sets. One of the wood, the joins thus far are fine for me, but the wood popped out of one of the sockets, so wasn't too happy about that. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to crazy glue that in. I'm thinking about reaching out to the company because yeah, that should not happen, especially with a new kit. And it's not like I was tugging it or anything like that. Even still, it should be able to take a lot of wear and tear. And I also noticed that one of the joins I was watching Selma from the Little Big Knits podcast, and she had the same issue with her Lucca needles, and one of the one of the twists to get into the join didn't quite fit. It was a little hard to, I don't know, it just didn't fit right. And yeah, so that is an issue as well. So I don't know if anyone else has had the same problem with theirs, where they had a fight to get that twist in or lock it down. So I don't know what is going on there, but I feel like writing to the company just to let them know. But anyway, otherwise, I really enjoy the way that they work with certain yarns, and yeah, and the cables too as well. So anyway, just a little heads up, and yeah, so anyway, I think that is it for works in progress. My battery is flashing at me, which is bizarre because I just charged it. But anyway, I'm gonna take a break there and move along to sewing, but let me switch my battery out. Okay, as for sewing, the other elephant in the room is, you might have noticed, I made another lady skater dress, which is a pattern, a PDF pattern by Kichiku. And I will link to that in the show notes, which, by the way, you can find show notes over at YarnGasmPodcast.com, where I post show notes for this episode and previous episodes. And yeah, I link to stuff there. So anyway, yeah, I made another Kichiku lady skater dress, which is by far probably my most sewn pattern. Probably that dress, and then the Anna dress by Hand London. I've made a lot of incarnations of that dress and this dress as well. The first version of this I did in the same exact fabric, which is an Alexander Henry print. I don't know if you can see, but it has bats on it. So let me stand up. But yeah, it's just a skater A-line jersey dress. And yeah, it fits like a glove. I love it. It goes down to my knees. It kind of flares out at the bottom. And let me see, but yeah, the first version of this dress I made was the same print, but a lighter kind of like mauve pink version, and there are quite a few mistakes in there, so I still wear it, but I don't like wear it out as often. It's kind of like a bum around the house type of outfit, but this one, I nailed it. So I'm definitely at the point where I don't have to refer to the pattern when I sew this. I just know where things go and I can bang it out in like an hour, hour and a half. And the only thing that I probably should have referred to the pattern for was the neckline, because I totally the mistake that I made while sewing this is you're not supposed to join both shoulders. You're only supposed to join one shoulder and then install the neckline or the neckband, and then join the second shoulder seam. But I still made it work. I didn't have to unpick anything, because I will tell you, zigzag stitch is no picnic to unpick. Wow. But overall, just a really fun, quick, super easy pattern to crank out. And yeah, again, I'm probably gonna make 5 more of these, because I live in, this is like my uniform. I'm comfortable in it, I can move around in it, and it's just such a versatile dress that I can chuck over a pair of black leggings, and it goes with everything. So yeah, very happy with this. I actually wore it for Thanksgiving. So yeah, and you know, that's on Thanksgiving, why not? So anyway, I really love this print, and it's one of my favorite dresses that I've made. So that's another thing that I wanted to talk about. I want to do the sewing tag, which I don't know if you follow the Fluffy Fibers podcast or Stitched in Sweden, but they both did videos on their YouTube channel where they answer questions about you know, their sewing habits, what they like, what they don't like. It's really fun. Isabel actually tagged me, and I've been meaning to get around to filming the sewing tag, so I might just include that as part of my Vlogtober series. Vlogmas series. So yeah, look out for that. But yeah, so I'll have a lot of fun putting that out. So that is it for sewing. I am gonna move along to stash enhancement, because I do have some goodies. So as I mentioned, went to the Woolly Thistle, like you do. First of all, it was Black Friday here in the United States. I think it's pretty much everywhere now, if I'm not mistaken, because Ellie from Skein Knits informed me that Holtzgarn was having a Black Friday sale, and they are based in Denmark. And I was like, what? It didn't even dawn, like I've been wanting to try their yarn, but it didn't even dawn on me I could just go to their website and order. So yeah, and I think they have flat rate shipping, so shipping is not terribly expensive, and their yarn was super cheap and I could not resist. So I treated myself the day after Thanksgiving to a very nice Holtzgarn sale haul. So that is winging its way to me. I just got the shipping notification today, so very, very excited, because as you know, I'm on a colored white kick. And then of course, the Woolly Thistle was having a Black Friday sale, and as you know, as I just said, I'm on a color work kick. I could not help purchasing several skeins of Jameson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight. So let me go get those. Okay, so this is just goes to show you how ignorant I am about all this yarn. So I thought Jameson and Smith and Jameson Spindrift were the same company. Nope, I was totally wrong. They're 2 separate companies. However, Claire did say that they are virtually interchangeable. You can work with them. However, I will say that Jameson and Smith is a little softer than Spindrift. It definitely has a little bit more loftiness to it. But yeah, again, here's one skein that I purchased. It is a coral. They don't, unlike Jameson Spindrift, they don't name their colorways. They assign them numbers, because why not? And yeah, it's 100% Shetland wool from the Shetland Islands, and you get 125 yards, 115 meters, and each skein is 25 grams. And yeah, and I got this colorway, and this might seem a little out of my comfort zone, but I got yellow because I feel like yellow is something you might want to have in your stash just in cases, especially if you're doing color work. And I was watching, what is it, the Fruity Knitting podcast, and Andrea interviewed Hazel Tyndall a couple of episodes ago, I want to say, and she was showing off all these beautiful colorwork yokes that her mother knit, and I think she salvaged all the yokes from the original sweater, and there was one, it was like a green, it was a green cardigan or a green yoke, and the colorwork just had this really beautiful color scheme, and it had like yellows and like browns, and I don't know, just made my heart sing. And I was like, I want to find like a pattern or, you know, improvise something that looks exactly like that. So it had like a little combination of like yellow, like a light buttery yellow and like a bright yellow inside of it. But then I found a green to go with it. Unfortunately, she was sold out of a lot of, she only had 5 skeins of the green left, so I might have to stock her shop and order more of this colorway. But I know, it's just green. I love this type of green. It's just, I love it. It's my favorite. But yeah, with just like a buttery yellow, and then like there was also some like browns and camels in there. I don't know. I just got a couple of, just a couple of colors to have in, you know, the stash. So yeah, I got more green. Let me see. Green. And then I also got this really nice red. It's like a rich kind of burgundy red. So that'll be nice. And then this kind of sage green, which I really like. And then just a pink. Yeah, because why not? Anyway, so that was my haul, but that is not all, because Claire is insane. She not only did she give an amazingly generous giveaway prize, but she also gifted me another needle set, but the large needles. So this goes all the way from a US 9, which is a 5mm needle, all the way up to these jumbo needles, which is a US 15 or a 10mm needle, which is crazy. And Claire is crazy because she's too generous. So thank you so much, Claire. These will definitely be getting a lot of use. And as I mentioned, I have the same kit, but for the smaller size needles. So, and I believe they make 3 different kits. They have a sock set, and then they have a smaller needle kit, and then the large kit. So anyway, yeah. It's early Christmas here over at YarnGasm headquarters, but anyway, yeah, I cannot thank you so much. I can't thank you enough, Claire. So anyway, totally made my day. And the other thing that I wanted to say about the kit is that it comes with a whole plethora of cables. So you get a 16-inch cable, and you get a 24-inch cable, and a 32 to 34-inch cable, and a 40-inch cable. So lots of options there. And then it also comes with a key and these really handy nifty rubber key twist things. They're awesome. So anywhooser, yeah, so that is it for stash enhancement. I'm gonna move along to shop update because I am having a shop update tomorrow, Friday, December 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and I hope you can come. So let me go get the yarn that I'm going to have in tomorrow's update. So in tomorrow's update, it's gonna be a relatively large update because I missed a couple of weeks, or I missed last week. I didn't have an update because of the holiday, but yes, I will be having some more holiday colorways this week, namely the new one, Driven Snow. And oops, let me see if I can get this to focus. All right. So this is Driven Snow. So it's a lot of kind of rainbowy, it's lots of rainbow speckles on kind of like a gray, I guess that's supposed to be like driven snow, gray base. And here it is on my Blitzed base, which is Gold Stellina sock yarn. And then here it is on my Nouveau base, and that's Superwash Merino fingering. So I'll have that. I will have some more Neptunia. I guess you can see where this is going. I'm going to have some more Oracle kits available because I didn't last time, but yes, more Oracle kits. So if you want to recreate the Half Moon Oracle shawl that I released last month, then yes, there will be those colorways. Neptunia will be in stock, and then here it is on Blitzed. And Volca, my merino nylon cashmere base and fingering. But yeah, the colorway combination for those kits included Dead Calm, Neptunia, and Lady of the Lake. So I will have more Oracle kits of this, but yeah, so Neptunia will be in stock, and as I just showed you, I will have some Dead Calm. So here it is on Blitzed, and Nouveau, and I will also have Lady of the Lake. I didn't get another skein of it, but here it is on Blitzed. So kind of reminds me of like snowflakes and very wintry also. But yeah, I will have my Blitzed base, I will have Nouveau, I will have Volca, and I will also have Smitten DK back in stock as well. So all these colorways that I'm showing you will be available on those bases. So there's that, and then I will also have some Grim. Grim will be in stock, and yes, I will have it on Blitzed as well. So here it is on Smitten DK, which is my Merino Nylon Cashmere DK base. And then I will have some more Dirty on Purpose. So that, here it is on Smitten DK. And then here's a new holiday colorway that I came up with. This is called Sparkling Cider, and I posted about this on Instagram yesterday. So yeah, it's just, you know, lots of Christmassy colorways, reds, greens, cranberries, some browns in there, and I don't know why it just makes me so happy. Definitely one of my favorite colorways that I recently came up with. So yay, holiday colorway. So yeah, I am obviously, oh, I have one more. This is a one-off, a totally free swim colorway. I actually over dyed it because I had a whoopsie daisies in the dye pot, but I really like the effect that it had. So yeah, this will also be going on the shop. It's on my Volca base. I haven't named it yet, so that is TBD, but yeah, I'm going to be dyeing some more colorways today. I'm hoping to have, what is it? The one that I just came out with, Vamp Miss. I'm going to try and have more Vamp Miss in stock for tomorrow. But otherwise, yeah, I hope you can make it to the shop. My online shop is over at www.voolenvineyarns.com. And again, my update will be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And yes, I'm trying to think what else I want to say. The Inner Circle Yarn Club has shipped. It shipped last week, so you should be receiving those soon. But so far I've been getting a lot of great feedback. I had a lot of fun coming up with the colorways, so very excited. Yeah, and if you want to share you know, your skeins in the spoiler thread, I created one over in the Voolenvine Yarns Ravelry thread. So again, I have two separate Ravelry threads. I have one for Voolenvine Yarns, my hand-dyed yarn company, and one for the podcast for YarnGasm. So feel free to hop into any one of those and join in. And since we're on the topic of Ravelry groups, if you're still with me at this point, I thought I would mention that I have opened up an FO thread for the Box O Socks knit along, which is a year-long knit along that I'm hosting. It kicked off January 1st, 2017, and it ends January 1st, 2018. So I've opened an FO thread for everyone to post their finished boxes. And please keep in mind that that is an FO thread. So post your completed boxes of 12 or more pair of socks. And unfortunately, I had to go in and delete a couple of posts because people were posting single sock photos, which is what the chatter thread is for. So just be aware, while I really hate deleting posts, just be aware that that the FO thread is specifically for completed boxes in which you are entering to win giveaway prizes for when the knit along closes. So yeah, post all of your single projects and chatter away in the chatter thread, which again, I will link to in the show notes. And by the way, again, I say this every week, I don't have time to really comment on every single post, but I do pop into those threads and love all the wonderful, gorgeous, and amazing socks you guys are knitting. It just blows my mind how excited you are for this knit along and how many people are participating in it. It's amazing. So it just, yeah, you guys are awesome. So keep on posting your gorgeous socks. I feel like I should have talked about this at the top of the episode. But anyway, yes, I am gonna move along to Blather, which is a segment where I chat about what's been happening in my life, should you care to stick around. But yeah, Thanksgiving was last weekend, or last Thursday, I should say. So as I mentioned, Dennis and I went to visit family, then we bumped around Philly, then we headed home and we had a really nice, quiet, relaxing weekend. And you guys, I live for those weekends. You know, when it's just me and Dennis at home, we don't have any obligation to be anywhere. We did have dinner with our neighbors, which was really nice. So we did get out and socialize. It's not like we're total hermits, but anyway, yeah, so I just spent the whole weekend working on my Damyaka Lopa, which I finished. So that was really, it just felt like a really productive weekend. Really crafty and productive. Yeah, so Christmas is rolling around, and while I would love to put up my tree, I might not do it this year because number one, we are not having a party this year, I know, unfortunately, but I don't know, I really just want to relax. December is looking like it's going to be a very quiet month, and I kind of want to keep it that way, just no real plans, because I feel like the summer has just been crazy. It's been a whirlwind and just been constantly go, 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 and I'm definitely looking forward to a relaxing month of not doing anything but making when I possibly can. So I'm sure many of you can relate. So yeah, well, I'm not going to put up my giant pink Christmas tree that I did last year. I am going to put up my small one, so I will have a tree because, guys, I do love Christmas. I love the decorating aspect of Christmas and getting together with friends and all the warm and fuzzies around it. So, you know, I am going to put up a small tree, fret not. And yes, Vlogmas. I can't, yeah, I'm excited for Vlogmas, you guys. It's going to be so fun. So what else did I want to say? Yeah, and Hanukkah's rolling around too, so you know, I got something for Dennis already. I'm doing my holiday shopping early. Yeah, I got that out of the way. I know he doesn't watch the podcast, but I'm just not gonna say what I got him yet. I'll tell you after the holidays. So yeah, Hanukkah present down. So in other news, I'm trying to think what else has been going on. Lately I find myself watching a lot of photography vlogs, photography YouTube videos. I will say Sharon from the Knit Style podcast has inspired me to up my photography game, or, you know, just pick photography back up again, because she's been taking like these really beautiful photos. If you're not familiar, she has the Knit Style podcast. She does Knit Style Yarns. I love her podcast. It's so funny. Her and her husband, Rich, co-host it. If you haven't checked it out, check them out. They're awesome. But yeah, she's been taking a photography class, and I've just been like blown away by all of her photos. And I have a really nice camera. I have it's over there. It's my Canon T5i. It's a nice camera. It's Canon Rebel, and I use it to take product photography. I use it to take photos of my yarn. However, I want to get back into taking quality photos again, be it of my knitwear, instead of just running and gunning it, because I will say lately I've been taking a lot of photos indoors with my new light setup for my vlog. So I have the vlog. The vlog is good. I'm very happy with the way my vlog is being produced, like with the quality of light and everything. However, my still photography, I know I could do better and I want to do better. So I want to get I want to start taking more photos outside, and you might have seen me post photos on Instagram, a little more stylized photos with better lighting. So I've been taking a lot of those outside. Granted, it's getting colder, which I'm not too much of a fan about, but yeah, I want to start going out more, taking my camera with me, and just taking a lot more photos. Granted, I'm not really into still lives or scenery photos. I really enjoy taking portraits. I'm fascinated by people. You know, when you go to, it's kind of, I notice the difference, like when Dennis and I go to a museum, he's more drawn to landscapes and I'm more drawn to portraits. So I think that's very telling of, like, you know, the type of photographer that you might be into, or the type of photographs that you're into taking. I don't know, people fascinate me. Yeah, I don't know, I can't describe it, but I do love taking portraits. I'm going to take my camera with me when I go to Edinburgh Yarn Festival, because I'm gonna have a field day taking so many photos there, and vlogging, of course. So, but yeah, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and, you know, refreshing I went to school for cinematography and directing and editing and all that stuff. So, but it's been a while, so I kind of want to give myself a refresher when it comes to like f-stops, exposure, and it's so crazy what you can find on YouTube, like as far as this stuff is concerned. So I thought I would share with you a couple of like the YouTube videos that I've been watching. and vlogs and whatnot, in case you are interested in that stuff as well. One that I just stumbled upon that I heard, it's a podcast by Peter McKinnon, and he's got some really fun, he does a lot of vlogging, and he does a lot of great photography and video editing tutorials. He's a self-taught photographer as well, so, but the quality of his vlogs and his photographs, and it's mind-blowing, so definitely check him out. And I found him through another podcast that I watch, or a vlogger that I watch. It has nothing to do with knitting at all, but if you're not familiar, Casey Neistat. He's also in the film industry. He's probably one of the most well-known YouTube vloggers out there, but at the end of the day, he's just like really fun to watch. He just shares, like, he used to vlog on a daily basis, but now it's kind of like, you know, a couple times a week, but he just shares little blips of his day and creates a story around it, and he's really good like pairing the music, and he's funny, he's entertaining, and you know, it's like fun going along. He travels a lot for, you know, his job or whatever, and you know, he just takes you along on his adventures, and it's a lot of fun. But he also has like some tips and tricks in there as well, some tutorials, and you know, he definitely, you know, he's awesome. Check him out. You might be into that type of stuff. So yeah, especially if you are into Vlogmas or Vlogtober and vlogging on a more regular basis, there's a lot of inspiration to be found on both of those podcasts. And another one, I guess, you know, I guess those are the two main ones that I watch, but since we're on the topic of vlogs and YouTube, I guess I'll talk about what other podcasts that I watch or listen to that are non-knitting related, because I do talk about a lot of knitting on this podcast, but you know, sometimes I need a break during the week, you know, because I do digest a lot of knitting content, but sometimes I do find like, okay, I need a little break, I need a palate cleanser, and I just kind of binge on all these podcasts. But I do listen to, it's an audio podcast called Being Boss, and it's hosted by two really awesome entrepreneur women. They're friends, they have their own, you know, companies that they started, and super professional. I will say, if you're not into swear words, they do get a little, you know, they do throw a couple of F-bombs around or everything, but you know, at the end of the day, it's like such a great podcast, and it's refreshing, and you know, being an entrepreneur slash my own boss in general, it's definitely a lot of great tips in there, a lot of great, you know, content, and definitely check it out, because you know, they're hilarious to listen to too. So they're very real, very down to earth, and they tell it like it is. So yeah, definitely check out Being Boss. And it was funny because I was listening to them yesterday while I was dyeing yarn, and totally out of the blue, they did a mini-sode on stuff that they are watching, listening to, reading, and the like, and one of the hosts, she's like, okay, this is gonna sound really, she goes, I went on a total fiction binge over the summer, and don't judge or judge me, but I listened to this book series by Sarah J. Maas, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I just like stopped what I was doing. I'm like, shut the front door. I was like, no way. So I was like what are the, you know, the odds she's listening or read the same books that I did that I'm like currently obsessing over. But anyway, totally random, but anyway, I thought that was hilarious. Another one that I've been listening to is The Daily Zeitgeist. It's one of those under the How Stuff Works umbrella. So, you know, you have like Stuff Mom Never Told You, How Stuff Works, you know, the How Stuff Works podcast, Stuff You Missed in History, but then they also have The Daily Zeitgeist, which is a daily podcast that they put out, and it's basically, it just covers like pop culture, hot topics in the news, and just, you know, generally what's been happening throughout the day. And they always have like either like a comedian guest host on the show, and it's really funny. Again, the language is not always safe for children, but at the same time, it's just a really fun podcast to listen to. It makes me laugh, and you know, it just keeps me in the loop about what's been going on, because I don't have, you know, I don't really watch the news throughout the day. Normally I watch it at the end of the day with Dennis before we go to bed. But yeah, it's really great. Check it out if you're into that type of thing. Yeah, and I also mentioned Stuff Mom Never Told You, which the original hosts, they ended the podcast. So Stuff Mom Never Told You ended for a while, and then I think like 6 months later they rebooted it with new hosts, which I am really liking. I love the original hosts, but with Kristen and Caroline, but now they have Bridget and, oh gosh, I'm totally blanking on her name, but it's a really, really great podcast. It continues to be a great podcast, and I really like what the new co-hosts have to bring to the table when it comes to feminism and all that good stuff. So yeah, definitely check those out. Oh, and I've been rambling for a while. This is gonna be a long podcast again. But yeah, so I think that is it for this week. It is Thursday, so yeah, this weekend, hopefully not too much going on. I'm trying to enjoy it while it lasts, because who knows what, you know, next month could be busy. So anyway, yeah, there's Rogue Knitting Live happening. It's my birthday month next month. Craziness. So I'm just enjoying the calm before the storm, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I will leave it there. Happy knitting, and I will see you next time. Bye.